Hello, hello. Let's see. How do I do this? Hail, hail.
Hello, hello, hello.
The gang is here. I am just, there's a story you'll enjoy once we get actually started.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, between when we chatted earlier and now, I've been to Kroger.
Oh, wow.
And that's all I'll say about it right now. But for now, as folks are signing in,
They don't see us yet, do they?
yeah, we're already live.
Oh, all right.
Surprise!
Let's go back to the. So you don't run a thumbnail up until the hour.
Well, I don't actually run a thumbnail, but I guess I can.
That's
And
all right. I'm fine with being live.
well, you know,
Absolutely.
but what I will do is cut to two little videos with some traveling music for people to enjoy until we get ready to actually start.
Sure.
And I will share my screen so that they don't necessarily see me frantically getting ready.
Yeah. Good. And you follow the YouTube chat? Is that if people ask
Yes.
questions?
Yes.
All right.
Now, as soon as I figure out how, oh, there we go. That's the one. And we do this. Well, good evening. If you're already with us, we have one more piece for you to hear as we wait for more of our friends to get signed in. Welcome, by the way, to First Presbyterian Church in Richmond, Virginia. We are going to hear now an organ solo by Jeff Jones, who will be cooking with this evening. Doo-doo. And all the people said, Amen. That was Bring a Torch, which is, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, that is a relative, well, not relative, it's a new addition to the Presbyterian hymn repertoire. If you're
Yes.
saying anything, you're probably muted.
Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
yes, yes,
Am I
you
on?
are.
Great. Yes. Yes. That was, thank you for taking me back to Christmas Eve. That was
Well, it should always be Christmas in our hearts, I think. Um, yeah, would you tell us a little bit about that recording? Was it just for Christmas Eve, or was it a part of the
it was, so, yes, you know, as we've all had to do in COVID, we've had to reinvent ourselves. And we did a program called A Very COVID Christmas. And that piece got double billing, and I worked so hard on it that I figured it needed to get played twice. So was in our very COVID Christmas concert, which was a combination of a lot of our folks doing things from their homes, compiled with some interesting dialogue and playfulness with one of our resident puppets. And it was a lot of fun to put together. And then we used that for the postlude for our Christmas Eve service as well.
Now, if it would be okay with you, once we get done with this evening's program, I'm going to share the link to that performance in
sure.
the video description.
Perfect.
So welcome everybody who is viewing. If you're out there while we are live, I know a lot of people tend to watch after the fact. But if you're out there live and you have a question you want to ask either of us, feel free to type it into the chat. We are monitoring that. And so let me start off by saying again, welcome to Dr. Jeff Jones, who is the Director of Music and Organist at Grace Covenant Presbyterian Church in Ashville, North Carolina. It is fun to have you with us, Jeff.
Thank you. It's so good to be with you tonight as well. Looking forward to our time together.
Yeah, it's as you said, this COVID business has been interesting, and just by way of introduction for I don't know, I guess both our congregations, I had the pleasure of meeting Jeff. I was trying to figure it out, and I can't remember exactly how and when we met, but I think Marlon Hurst had something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. He almost didn't allow us to meet. So, so you can correct me on this because I think we both sort of remember bits and pieces of the story, but we were performing the gospel mass in Danville, and I had secured your services for one of the soloists. But you were simultaneously working for Marlon as a soloist in Lexington, and then he wouldn't let you out of your engagement. Or he changed something and needed you. And
well, I think it was that I was supposed to have sung a solo at church on the same day that you were doing the Ray, and so it was. But we got connected anyway.
Absolutely.
So we are cooking this evening a chicken piccata.
Not chicken Picasso.
Which we learned since putting the post out is a completely different dish.
Yes, what we've learned is that my sense of humor always backfires. I was just being funny, and a dear friend of mine who actually runs a restaurant saw the post and he said, "You're cooking chicken Picasso?" And I was like, "No, it's piccata." And he said, "You know Picasso's a real thing." So if you've got mozzarella cheese, bell peppers, lots of garlic, and a couple cups of fresh cream, you could make chicken Picasso.
Okay.
But we're not cooking chicken Picasso tonight. I was just trying to be funny and artsy. There we go.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I got the ingredients, but I intentionally did not read the recipe because I wanted this to be, for me at least, an honest learning experience.
Yeah. Well, it's actually pretty easy, and the prep time and cook time is not that long. And since this is my dinner, and since Michael here is also planning to eat, I'm going to cook everything else that we're having for dinner as well.
Okay.
So we're going to try and prep all that together, and you can see if you want. So I'm going to move this so you can see the prep.
Okay.
Tonight we're having chicken piccata, and I'm going to roast some plums in the oven. It's one of our favorite dishes. It's a nice little sweet side to finish the meal. And then we're just going to steam some broccoli because that's what we had in the crisper. So chicken piccata, broccoli, and a little roasted plum at the end. You can roast another fruit if you like. Some people prefer pears or something. But it's really very easy. I'm going to put this here so you can see as we prep. So basically you take plums. They've already been washed. And you just very simply break them open. I like to use a melon baller just to get.
Could you angle your camera down just a little bit more?
Sure.
Thank you.
So I like to use a melon baller to get out the seed in the pit. Just really very simple. Clean out that pit a little bit.
See, that's how you know somebody is a serious cook. They have these tools. I just have knives and things to eat with.
Oh, melon ballers come in really handy. So, especially in a good fight.
Oh, duly noted.
So just clean out the center of those. And this is just such a quick prep. You're going to just place them in a pan. You can see the fancy all-clad aluminum I have here.
That is some top shelf equipment there.
And then just gonna very, very easily just drizzle a little bit of honey over these. It's just so simple. Get a little more honey.
Well, this is something I might have to cook for Angela sometime.
Yeah, and so, like you can do honey and like fresh thyme. It's fabulous. On a roasted plum. Now, what you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 400 for this.
Okay.
I got my oven preheating when the beet goes, and it only takes like 12 to 15 minutes to roast them.
Okay.
So once you've got the honey on them, I do just a little bit, just a tiny little sprinkle of clove, and a tiny little sprinkle of pepper, or sorry, not pepper, cinnamon.
You're keeping this Christmas theme going, eh?
What's that?
So you're keeping the Christmas theme going.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, you need to celebrate all the time. As you said, it's Christmas in our hearts. Now, I'm not going to put them in yet because they only take 15 minutes.
Okay. By the way, for the benefit of the folks watching from home, I'm not doing the plums because I'm here alone, and I don't generally eat as fancy as Dr. Jones here.
Oh, you should though. Everyone should make every meal special. So then, what we're going to do next? We're going to go ahead and get our chicken ready. So what I have here is about a pound. I have about a pound of thin sliced chicken cutlets. And Jason, you know that the chicken is my support animal.
The chicken, what?
The chicken is my emotional support animal.
Is that right?
Yeah, preferably 4-piece with a biscuit.
Well played.
But you're going to want to season this chicken with salt and pepper on both sides. Just season it to your liking with salt and pepper. I'm going to flip this over.
Where I come from, we call salt and pepper a good start.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's interesting is there are so many different ways to make chicken piccata. And I with most things in life, I adhere to the KISS principle, which is keep it simple, stupid. And so some people prefer, some people put Parmesan in their chicken piccata. Other recipes call for garlic or shallots. But I think the salt and pepper with the lemon and the butter and the wine and the capers is plenty. Okay. But you can certainly adapt chicken piccata to your liking. Very easy to do. So you're gonna salt and pepper that, and then after you've salt and peppered your chicken, you're gonna take some flour, and you're just gonna dredge this in the flour, just very simply. Just, oops, and there we go. We're making it.
Okay.
Flour is so messy; it just takes one little misstep, and it's all over.
A deeper bowl.
Yeah. So I'm just going to get all of these chicken cutlets lightly dredged with some flour.
Now let me ask you this: do you season the flour as well, or?
I don't. Some people season the flour and not the chicken.
Okay.
I want to ensure that the seasoning is getting on the chicken.
I'm just gonna throw some insurance on here.
Yeah, absolutely. In our household, one of us likes a little more salt than the other. And I find that it's easier to add salt later.
Okay.
I'm the one who likes more salt.
I see.
And so then now once you've gotten all of your chicken dredged in flour, we're going to set that aside for a minute because it's not going to take a long time for us to cook this.
Right.
And I'm going to prep some of the other parts of the meal, some of the other parts of the ingredients that have to go into this.
Okay.
I'm going to wash the chicken off my hands over camera. When you do this next time, can you allow in your budget for a sous chef to help with all the behind the scenes prep?
Oh, the next time I do this, I'm gonna have a sous chef and a producer in here to handle the camera work and all of that.
Good. Well, I just realized it's a good thing that you saw that organ solo of just my torso, because that's all you're getting right now anyway. I am here, but I'm the headless organist.
Oh dear. Well, isn't that usually the case with organists?
Yes. Most people can only recognize me from the back of my head. That's just.
So this whole mask thing through COVID is no issue for you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare our lemons. I'm going to keep an eye on the time. That looks good. So, have you gotten your chicken ready?
It's on the plate behind me.
Good. I'm taking the lemons, rolling them a little bit. And then I don't know if. The other thing I would say is, you can see over here, I've got a pot of water. It's staying really warm for the pasta, so that when I get close to time, I can turn up the heat and cook the pasta.
Uh-huh.
We'll come back to that, but I just keep that on low. Then at the very end, it's going to be a lot faster for us.
Well, I will do like Jesus said and do likewise.
Yes, I heard somebody quote 2 scriptures to me once. They said, Judas went out and hung himself. Go ye therefore and do likewise.
You missed one. After he said do likewise, he said, what you got to do it quickly.
So I'm squeezing the lemons. Do you have a juicer?
I do not, but that's never stopped me before.
Yeah, so you know how to manage that. I mean, you can, if you hold it up over a bowl and squeeze,
yeah,
you barely get the juice without the seeds going in.
Huh.
It's not foolproof, but it's better than just turning it upside down and squeezing.
So, funny thing happened this afternoon. I drove back to Richmond last night.
Yep.
And, on my way home, I stopped at Kroger just to get some essentials. And I figured, I'll just get all the ingredients to cook tomorrow as well. Because, that's what sane people do after a 4.5-hour drive. So I get the ingredients. I come back to the apartment. I do all of what needs to be done, go to sleep, go to church today. Had quite the interesting day as far as the schedule goes. Get here and start laying things out at about 5:30. getting ready for this session and realized that I don't have chicken broth.
Well, you know, it's not an essential. It can, some people just use wine. Some people just use chicken broth. Some people use a combination.
Uh-huh.
But that's a variant. So I've squeezed the juice out of these 2 lemons.
Uh-huh.
And you're gonna shoot for hopefully, oh, that's about right. You're gonna want about 1/3 cup of lemon juice.
Okay.
If you like it more lemony, you can use more. I'm gonna say that right there is about 1/3 cup of lemon juice. So the lemons are done. Now, just as an aside, because I love Martha Stewart and I love giving wonderful ideas, steal this one from me. Now, when you got these leftover lemons,
Uh-huh.
fabulous little idea for your next little luncheon, tea party, dinner party. What I do, especially in the spring, for making lemonade, I cut the very bottom off of each one
Uh-huh.
so that they sit upright. Just enough on the bottom so that they sit up. And then I take these little now shells and I pop them in the freezer.
Okay.
And then when I'm having a party, I pull them out and I put a scoop of lemon sorbet
Oh, wow.
inside of them. Serve them with a sprig of mint and maybe like a ginger snap cookie or a graham cracker.
Yeah.
And it's a fabulous light end of the meal dessert. And the presentation is fabulous. So
What I just heard in all of that was an open invitation to
come to dinner, to come to a party.
well, you know, it doesn't have to be a party, but I'm gonna eat.
All right.
So did you say 1/3 cup?
Yeah, you're going to want 1/3 cup of lemon juice and just set that aside. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my plums in the oven now.
Okay.
And because I'm absent-minded, I'm going to set a timer. Otherwise, I'm going to be in problem. I'm going to have a problem. So let's see. Timer. All right, we're going to go. All right, so the timer's on. That'll give us a little bit. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, if you've got your capers.
Yes.
I hate these little jars capers come in because you can't fit a spoon in there. But you're going to want to get some capers out. You're going to look at, I'd say at least 1/4 cup of capers for this recipe.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pour the brine off of them. It's a bit salty, so clean them. You can actually, if it's too briny for you, you can rinse them. So I'm getting my capers ready, and let's see. You still haven't gotten that. Camera, or that mood lighting to brighten your kitchen yet, have you?
No, not yet. The funny thing, at least for me, about working through this COVID nonsense is that it seems like there's a whole lot more job than there was.
Oh, there's so much more work. I mean, it's just, and as you know, it doesn't matter how much schooling you had in music, you've got to develop a whole skill set, and there's just so much more work.
Yeah.
In trying to make week to week happen. So next, I've gotten some parsley. Now that I've got my capers out and ready, And the parsley's also already been washed and dried. And we're just
How much parsley am I looking at?
depends on how much you like it. I would say chopped up a quarter to a third a cup of chopped up parsley.
Okay.
Some to put in just right before you serve it, and then if you need a little more to garnish on top.
Okay.
Garnisher.
You know, only when I'm cooking for other folk. I don't care what my food looks like as long as it tastes right.
Oh, Jason, come on.
Well, that's when I cook it. When I go out and pay for it, it better look like something special.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what's gotten me in trouble. That's what's gotten me here, I think, is I've put one too many pictures of food up.
Oh, you know it. I try to look at your Facebook page after 6 because, you know, then I need to eat something.
Because then you're gonna know what's. Well, I get it. You know, that's what inspired me going out to eat. But going out to eat is so expensive, and of course you can't do it in the pandemic.
No. But you know, I vacillate between being annoyed when I go out to eat and the food isn't as good as if I had just made it myself in the first place.
Yep.
And being lazy enough not to care what the food tastes like. I'm chopping this finely, yes?
What's that?
Am I chopping this finely?
Oh, I mean, just chop it. It doesn't have to be, you know, microscopic. Just chop it up. Just.
I'm curious, what sucked you down the rabbit hole of becoming a church musician?
Well, it was my only marketable skill. So here's what happened really is that so I grew up in a much more conservative church. Sorry, I think I cut that without showing you, but it's all chopped up now.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in a more conservative church, and always thought I would somehow work in the church. It was a large church with a big active music program, albeit very different from anything I've been involved in as an adult.
Right.
But it was inspirational. I'm going to try moving here now to see if we can see what's going on here better. So my grandmother said I was going to grow up to be a preacher, and I never thought about being anything else.
Huh.
But then somewhere along the way, I got smitten with music and started taking piano lessons and getting involved in all the music. And then also along the way, I kind of started realizing even years before I ever came to try my own identity, that I was in a church that wouldn't allow me to preach if they actually knew who I was.
Right.
So I sort of just moved over to do music. And, you know, I mean, it's a great fit for me. It certainly has been an interesting ride along the way. And I don't regret it at all. It's been a lot of work and a lot of joy.
Right.
And it's just ministry from a different perspective.
It sure is. It sure is.
And you know, sometimes we preach as much through our music as those colleagues of us who stand up in the pulpit each week. So
yeah.
It's nice to be able to share that. What we're going to do next is we're gonna get our pan ready to cook the chicken.
Okay.
So what you're going to need is you're going to want to get your pan medium high. I go medium low, because my gas stove is so hot.
Right.
You don't want to burn the chicken, and you don't want to scorch the olive oil either. So about a medium heat, or just just shy of medium, and 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay.
Not take much.
I have these electric coils, so I need to wait for those to
They may take a little bit, yeah.
do what they do. So while we wait for my pot to heat, let's see here. I have a couple of pictures,
Oh,
including this guy.
that's a stroll down memory lane.
Where on the globe are you there?
I'm sitting in the organ loft at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a recital series, and I was fortunate enough to get on that series in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up there in March. It was actually I was there over my birthday weekend, and it was 2010 when they had enormous storms. And the only time you can practice in St. Patrick's is late at night after all of the masses.
Yep.
And Dan Brondell, the organist there, he had to play a funeral in Rochester that day, and he had security let me into the loft. There's no staircase. There's just an elevator with a lock and key.
Oh, wow.
So when you go to the organ loft, you're there. And I think I got there about 9 o'clock and got let in. And
Yeah.
Dan that day was coming back from Rochester and got caught in the storms and trees over the road.
Oh my gosh.
And he called me on his cell phone. Of course, I was having a glorious time practicing.
Right.
Because the thing's 2 city blocks long and it has almost 14 seconds of reverberation.
Right.
But he didn't get back to the church till 1:45.
Oh my goodness.
Well, fortunately, the loft up there has a bathroom. But I was there practicing on a Friday night until after 2 a.m. And then he came in and we worked like another hour just testing registrations.
Right.
And then I got like an hour on Saturday between 2 masses, and then go back on Sunday afternoon and you do it. So it was a real quick.
14 seconds of reverb. That must make for some interesting hymn playing.
Yeah. Thankfully, I was playing him. But that was a great experience.
Okay.
So now the oil should be getting pretty hot. You don't want to get too hot. And then I'm going to put just one little pat of butter in there to go with it. And the mess in the kitchen begins.
What's that measurement of butter you're putting in?
I put like 1 pat of butter.
A pad of butter.
Like a square piece of butter just sliced.
Okay.
You can put more.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure I heard the measurement.
That's the technical term. There's a pat of butter.
That's a pad. Oh, well, I already have that out here.
Yeah, just a little something to add in there and then you're going to want to place your chicken in there. And you're going to want to brown this on both sides, about 3 minutes apiece on each side. Okay. Maybe a little more if the pieces are thick. Which is yet another reason that you don't want to cook it too fast and burn it.
Right.
So, Jason, when did you leave the Lexington area?
I left Kentucky in 2013. And that's when I started grad school at WVU.
Yeah.
Now, you probably saw the guest we had on 2 weeks ago, Hope Kohler.
Yep.
That was all her fault. And I just did you know Hope when she was at Kentucky or?
I did not know her.
Okay. So,
Everett had so many amazing vocalists come through there.
yeah, he's good for finding them wherever they are.
We benefited in Danville for years because I would frequently, I mean, why go anywhere else and give graduate students a chance to come down, and they really helped us up our game for major performances, Messiahs and
Right.
Vivaldi and Bach cantatas. And so,
I mean, I was an undergraduate, but I was fortunate to be one of them. So, yeah. And what? How long have you been at Grace Covenant?
I have been at Grace Covenant over 6.5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. I started in August of 2014.
Okay.
And it was a bit of a surprise, actually. It was, I was in Savannah and only been in Savannah about 18 months.
Oh, wow.
And Grace Covenant contacted me, and we started having a conversation. And
well, nobody ever got hurt by talking.
I'm just not one to move a lot. I don't like. I like to stay put. I was in Danville all total about 19 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, anymore in our field, that is becoming more and more a rarity.
yeah.
I had one colleague in the local chapter of the AGO here send me an email talking about being at her church for the last 40 years. And
Amazing.
yeah, you know, especially millennials, it'll be interesting, you know, in the post-COVID-19 world to see how the millennial pattern of shift changed. So,
Is your pan ready yet?
oh, my chicken is in.
Oh, you got your chicken in. All right.
Yeah. What's all that white stuff in your? Oh, that's your chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's just the lighting somehow, some way. I don't know why the lighting is so.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's there.
Okay.
They're cooking. There's our timer.
Okay. And for the benefit of those watching at home, those are mine.
I'm going to give those plums another minute or two. Now I went shopping yesterday for all my supplies, and I decided to splurge since I was making chicken piccata and get fresh pasta.
Uh-huh.
And our grocery was out, so I had to make an extra trip today just to get fresh pasta.
Okay.
One thing I don't know how to make, if you're starting with your pasta from dry, you probably want to be getting that going about right now. You know,
Okay.
do it. My pasta only takes a couple minutes. You at least want to get the water going.
Right. Well, the water is percolating.
Well, wait till you turn the chicken over.
Okay.
And it's all, you know, timing is everything.
Yep. Now you once upon a time were the director of the Conference on Music and Worship at Montreat, were you not?
Oh, I was. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that thing.
Oh yeah, that thing. You know, you kind of forget. You know, well, it was a glorious time. But Jason, you know, again, going back to the whole musician life, when I was in Danville those 20 years, 19 years, the church was not a full-time job, and I worked at the college, and I worked for the Kentucky Bach Choir, and I worked for the Danville Children's Choir, and taught piano lessons, and so it was a busy time. And,
right.
and I think the year I did Montreat, I had 7 W-2s.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I did Montreat. It was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Arlen actually was on my committee.
Uh-huh.
It was a great year.
Okay. What would you say was the most challenging thing about running the conference?
Um, I think the most challenging thing for me was just um, believing I could do it. It's a huge thing with a long tradition.
Yeah.
And I was honored and horrified at the same time. And you may or may not have remembered that, like, I had been asked to do the conference and had started planning because those conferences are planned 3 years in advance or more.
Right.
And I had said yes, and then went into a year of caring for a partner who died. And I actually wasn't sure I wanted to continue with the conference.
Right.
But I will say what made the conference the best for me was that I had a committee that rose to the occasion. Um, and they were hard workers, they were visionary, they were creative, and we came up with a great theme that worked. And we got our dream team when we started adding faculty. Everybody we asked said yes.
Wow.
So just getting over that daunting feeling of how big it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bigger than any one person.
Yeah.
Uh,
It sure is.
it takes a village. And so I just steered the ship, but I had really competent people on all sides keeping
Right.
it going.
Well, I was involved in it a few years ago as an assistant to the adult choir director, Dr. McCorvey, that year. And just being involved in that capacity, I was like, I'm glad I'm not steering the ship.
Yeah, it's a great place too, and people come wanting to enjoy. It's not like you're worried people are going to be attacking you for not doing it right.
Right.
They're very supportive and always open to what's going on creatively in the church.
Well, it really was a remarkable experience to me being in this barn with 1,000 people singing in four-part harmony.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, and now I don't know if you don't know exactly where I live, but Montreat is like 2.5 miles up the street from me.
okay.
I live in Black Mountain, and so it's here all the time. I go by Anderson. I walk by Anderson 2 or 3 times a week with the dog.
Wow. So now we know whose house the party is at next year.
Absolutely. You might still need to wear your mask.
Say again?
You might still need to wear your mask.
I might. I'm not coming out this year. I'll be out next year.
Well, they're working fast and furious in hopes that we can have some. They did it all online last year,
Yeah.
and it was a great success.
Good.
For all intents and purposes, to be online. And this year it's going to be a hybrid.
Right. I did read that.
So there will be an online component people can participate in if they choose. And again, I think everything, I can't speak for the directors, but I know that they're working and they will have to stay, in touch and know what like the state of North Carolina guidelines are. But they're hoping for some kind of, in some level of participation. So,
Right.
yeah.
Great. Well, I think I'm going to pull my chicken out.
Yep. Once you think it's done, you can pull it out and set it on the plate, set it aside. You can turn the heat down a little bit. And then this is the fun part.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm giving it about 30 more seconds.
Are you? I'm going to let this big piece sit in there for another moment. Oh, I'm going to check on those.
All right.
All right.
Look
And
like
just
you got some
so our
plums there.
plums are out.
Very nice.
Just going to set them off to the side. If I can find a place. Living small has its advantages and some not advantages.
Right.
So now, are you keeping an apartment in Richmond?
I am. It's a pretty nice little place, but it contributed to my angst when I had to run out to Kroger because Kroger is like a minute and a half from where I live. But I'm in a gated community, so you get to the gate and you have to wait for it to do the thing.
Oh. Would it have been quicker to walk?
No, because I live on the third floor.
Ah, gotcha.
And I have to actually get, out of the community and all of that business. So,
So now there are any number of ways you can move forward with the chicken piccata.
okay.
Some people like to mix a little bit of flour in the roux because they like a more gravy-like consistency. So I'll probably do that with just a little teaspoon of flour.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I've turned the heat down and I'm going to put 3 little pats. Actually, I'm going to make another little pat of butter.
Okay.
I'm going to get some butter going in this skillet.
By the way, do you have a preferred brand of butter?
I don't, especially in the pandemic. We're trying to get bargains, and we're shopping at grocery stores that bring stuff out to us. And
Right.
Aldi has really good deals on butter, so we get a lot of stuff at Aldi. So as soon as that butter has begun to melt and all of that, I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny little bit of flour, just a little bit. And then I'm going to, you don't have to clean the pan or anything. Those little bits will be great in the.
Right.
So that's that. The butter has helped, has melted and helped make a nice little gravy. Just a little bit there. And then I'm going to open the chicken stock, and I'm going to put about a half cup of chicken stock. I don't know. I'm weird with my measures. A pat of this, a little of that. Just eyeball
it. In my kitchen, we just pour things until it feels right.
And then I'm going to take some white wine. Now you can either do all wine, or you can do all chicken broth, or you can do a mixture.
Okay.
I will say that if you do wine, and you're standing over it stirring it, the alcohol as it goes out. The only time I think I've ever gotten slightly drunk was with the fumes coming in my nose from cooking chicken piccata.
Yeah.
I got so lightheaded so fast.
Wow.
Just because of and of course I don't drink a lot anyway, but.
So before you go any further, you said a half cup of broth.
Half cup of broth and about a half cup of wine.
Okay.
All total about a cup of liquid.
Right.
And you may have to revisit that as it starts to cook down. You're going to want to turn up the heat just a little bit and try to bring that to a boil.
You talked about your first time getting drunk off of cooking. Mine was when I made vodka sauce for the first time. I got a little bit closer to God that day.
Well, And I was so naive, I didn't even realize it was happening. I was just enjoying how it smelled. Then I had to sit down.
Now, do I want to drop my pasta in?
Yeah, go ahead and drop your pasta in. Mine only takes like 2 minutes. So, and I'm actually going to probably add just a little more. The way this is cooking, I'm going to put a little more liquid in mine because you want a little bit of sauce with your piccata.
Right.
So, and just a little bit more.
Just cook all of this.
And once it starts looking like it's just, I mean, don't want it to get too thick too fast, but you just want it to start boiling. Then you pour in your lemon juice.
Now let me see what your sauce looks like. Because I think I might not have put enough flour in mine.
Well, I mean, and again, some people don't even put any flour. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
That light over there is just not helping much.
So you put.
I mean, I just put like a tablespoon.
Okay.
I don't want it to be too thick.
Right.
And at this point, you probably don't want to put any more flour in it because it'll lump.
Okay. All right, lime juice in.
Lime?
Huh?
You said lime?
Yeah, did you not put your lime juice in as yet?
Lemon.
Oh, that.
And then put your capers in.
All the citrus are the same, Jeff.
Tell that to the orange. You know, someone once told me that I'm sorry and I apologize are the same. And I said, not at a funeral. Not saying the same thing. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
And you're going to put your chicken back in this.
Okay.
And turn it down and just let it simmer.
Okay. Now, is the sound of my percolating here coming through?
It's not.
Okay, good.
And you're just going to let this simmer for a moment, a little bit.
So because you mentioned earlier about walking your dog, I figured I'd show people. Let's see here. Where are you?
Oh, you're going to show him my girl?
Here is Jeff's furry companion. What's her name?
Ellie.
Lily.
Ellie, E-L-I.
Oh, Ellie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is Norwegian, and we spelled her name like Ellie is spelled in Norway.
Okay.
So my water is boiling. So I am going to get my pasta ready to go.
Now, do I want to be concerned with turning this chicken in the sauce here?
You can turn it if you like, or you can just, if there's enough sauce, you can use a spoon to dip over the top. Whatever works.
So this is actually my first time cooking with two of these ingredients.
What two?
I have never cooked anything with chicken broth, and I've never cooked anything with capers.
Ah.
I mean, I've eaten them, but that's about it.
All right, my pasta is going to cook very quickly because it's fresh.
Well, yeah, those capers are briny, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Did you rinse them?
No, I didn't think it would be so bad.
Well, sometimes I get in a hurry and I just put them in. I don't
Right.
mind it.
I mean, I shouldn't say so bad. It just it surprised me.
They got a little kick to them.
Yep.
So are you ready?
When you get back to having a congregation at Grace Covenant and you can sing and not have to worry about masks and all of this business, I'm pretty sure it will start with some kind of a hymn festival or a concert. What's the first thing you're going to sing?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have a list of things that I haven't. I mean, I keep thinking, how can I keep from singing?
Yeah. Well, after we get through COVID, we'll know exactly how we can keep from singing.
There are so many things that I would love to love to sing for the congregation as well as the choir. I mean,
Right.
we're going to be ready to lift the roof, and do you already have a piece that you're going to jump on?
I mean, the first thing for the congregation and choir to sing together has to be, when in our music, God is glorified. You know, before the top of the hour, I was playing that recording of Grant Peace We Pray. Back in December, I had hired a string orchestra, and we recorded a number of pieces that we will use for the first, maybe first half of this year. And it was interesting because, of course, a few of the pieces call for woodwinds and brass, but of course, you know, thanks to COVID, there's none of that there. So
Right.
when we get together for the first time, excuse me, there's going to have to be some kind of a festival, something with brass.
Absolutely. I am straining my pasta.
Okay. And at that point.
Sorry, you can't get the full view here.
I think for the folks from Grace Covenant, you should give them just a quick peek at the back of your head so they'll know it's you.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, dear.
No doubt now. It's me. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. I think we're the ones who need it the most.
Amen. Amen.
Now, you can go ahead and throw your parsley. You can,
Okay.
as much as you want. You can save some for garnishing. If you want to turn all this over and stir it up, you can do that. But really, this is the meal. I mean, this is it.
And so you said that some people put Parmesan cheese on this.
Some people use Parmesan in their piccata. Some use garlic.
Well, this is one that I am going to be happy to add to my repertoire.
It's not hard. It's a little, the prep can take a little bit of time. And I know we're getting I know we're getting close to time, so I'm going to probably just plate something up here. Just so everybody can see dinner. Well, nothing elegant about that.
Well,
I was glad to see the other recipes that have been made on your things that I needed to learn. I didn't know how to make naan.
well, and as Hope will remind us, that was fake naan. Having experimented with it a bit since, I can tell you that it would be better to make your own self-rising flour with the salt and baking soda. Because it will be lighter and more pleasing than the store-bought self-rising flour.
So I know we're right at the hour, but
like a good Presbyterian, you are attentive to time.
yeah. But there you go.
Well, let me.
Can you?
That is wonderful. Let me. Mine is not as creamy as yours for some reason.
No, that's all right. I sometimes don't put flour in it. I just thought I would try it tonight. So.
But let me get mine plated up so we can compare notes.
And then I'm going to put a little pepper. I always like a little extra pepper. Michael, your dinner is ready.
What a glorious life he lives.
Yeah, isn't that great? So, oh, sorry, I did throw a little extra garnish on there because one does want a hint of color. That looks lovely.
Well, thank
Bon
you.
appetit.
Huh?
I said bon appetit.
And the same to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, let me give you an open post-COVID invitation to come down to Richmond and play with us. And hopefully at some point when we're allowed to sing together again, we'll be able to get some kind of choir exchange going.
Let's do it. Let's do a festival together. Let's do a hymn festival or anthems or something.
Sounds good to me.
We would love to do that with you.
Fabulous.
Don't forget to share that link with your Richmond folks.
Absolutely. I will put the link. This is going to be a link to a very COVID Christmas that features Jeff Jones and friends.
And friends.
It'll be a fine way to spend your next snow day or any day that you have time to sit down and enjoy some Christmas music.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jeff, and stay safe and well.
Thanks, Jason. You too.
Night-night.
Good night.